we are really now starting to see, particularly this is the beginning of a new quarter financially, right, for just about any sort of business, which means this is a big period where we're going to see increase to cost. There was an important article in the Financial Times that I didn't want people to miss. This is based on data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. In the 6 months going through August, from August, in the 6 months previous ending in August, so far, prices for audio equipment have risen by 14%. Prices for dresses are up 8%. Tools, hardware, and other supplies in that under that umbrella already have risen by 5% because most of those goods are imported. And what happened was you had a lot of small businesses and large businesses buy products before the tariffs kicked in. They built up some inventories, but those inventories are now gone. And so now we're starting to see the price increases are going in, starting in October. For instance, Ashley Furniture. Some of you have probably heard of Ashley Furniture. They're the world's largest furniture manufacturer. They've already they put a notice in an industry publication called Home News Now. Again, this is courtesy of my friends at the Financial Times, that they plan to raise prices for a majority of their products from 3.5% to 12% starting yesterday. Okay, so this is what I mean when the quarter kicks in and you're going to see new decisions on pricing, and this is where the tariffs get put in. The car parts retailer AutoZone, they already have indicated to analysts that there's probably going to be more price rises as the full impact of tariffs go in. I've told you about coffee prices; they continue to surge because of the 50% tariffs that have been applied to Brazil over the president's obsession with, despite proclaiming that they're American first and they're not going to get involved in anybody else's politics, they don't get involved in anybody else's politics unless they care about everybody else's politics. In this case, because of the whole Bolsonaro situation there. And here's something where there's these hidden tariff costs in everything that you have at the grocery store. Tariffs on imported tin plate steel is also driving up the price of food cans. So even if the product, the Progresso soup, the Goya beans, even if the food itself is produced here, the tin can, the can that is in your grocery store costs more, and they've had to raise the price of that. I have one other thing where we have a tariff impact, and that is the issue of soybeans. And this comes from the Lincoln Journal-Star over the weekend. They have had a 52% drop. This was just through June. Okay. Nebraska soybean experts were down 15%. Overall, there's been a drop in exports to China of 52%. This is why the farmers are reeling right now, particularly soybean farmers. And guess what? You grow soybeans all over the country. So this is a lot of states that are being impacted by this. There's a reason results matter more than promises. Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan has become America's largest injury law firm. For the last 35 years, they've recovered $25 billion for more than 500,000 clients. It includes cases where insurance companies offered next to nothing, short of shortchanging, seeing if they could get away with it. And Morgan & Morgan fought back, and they won millions. In Pennsylvania, one client was awarded $26 million. It was a staggering 40 times the amount that the insurance company originally offered. That offer, $650,000, whatever it took to sort of get away without paying. So with more than 1,000 lawyers across the country, Morgan & Morgan knows how to deliver for everyday people. So if you're injured, you're looking for a lawyer, check out forthepeople.com/ToddCast or dial pound law, pound 529 on your cell phone. And remember, all law firms are not the same. So give Morgan & Morgan a look. Their fee is free unless they win. This is why Donald Trump's talking about some sort of rebate. But do keep in mind, as the right tries to take the Democratic Socialist Zohan Mamdani and essentially use it to define the Democratic Party as socialist, the person executing socialistic-like policies right now is Donald Trump. right? In order, he's, basically having to pay farmers for crops that are not going to get used, right? But that's government support. That is a form, by any other name. Let's see, if it were a Democratic administration doing this, you would hear some conservatives crying socialism on this. And of course, I haven't gotten into Intel and some of the other stuff that we've already seen that there is certainly, we've heard. I mean, the Ken Griffin, the head of the large private equity fund, the Citadel, he's gotten really vocal about this. He does not like what the Trump administration has been doing. How quickly they get involved in private enterprise and sort of put their finger on the scales, picking winners and losers, whether it's who gets to own TikTok, Intel, what NVIDIA is doing with chips to China and things like this. So it is, again, as we start name calling everybody between the socialists and the fascists and all this left-right name calling, just realize on the issue of socialism, Donald Trump has his own form of it that he is executing right now. Socialism for the business world, socialism for constituency groups that he believes are important to him on that front.